Alright guys, Scrappy here and I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The founding Fathers LAN goes down last night. OpTic versus FaZe versus 100 Thieves. Loads of big storylines emerging from this one from start to finish, but mainly, at least on Twitter and in person, Nadeshot versus Scrappy. Yet again, they're going at it. Nadeshot basically slamming Scrappy for the fact that Shotzzy could have been swimming right now with OpTic Texas, but instead slammed Toronto out of the tournament a couple of weekends ago and now turns up to this LAN for a bit of fun. Very much on Twitter, your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Before we get into some of the LAN stuff, thought this was rather fascinating really, because Fellow and Priestahh were considered to be the two biggest LANimals, or at least right up there in the league based on the numbers that we saw the other day. Players that play much better on LAN than they do online. And well, that seems to have translated into other domains as well, because Fellow and Clay were in the car and apparently they nearly got T-boned, saying Charlotte drivers are pretty crazy. And as Clay says, time slowed down, brakes squealed, didn't even say nothing, just accepted my fate. But thankfully Fellow clutched up big time. So yeah, man, crazy. Glad that, of course, they are both okay. But as I say, they were like considered the biggest LANimals effectively of the league. This is the data the other way around. Now, we'll get on to the Enable 1829 in a second and some of the drama around that. But in honor of that, here are the worst LAN drop-offs this season. So, very interesting selection of players. I guess even Gwyn is worthy of discussion here just because, okay, he has a 1 flat on LAN and a 1.1 online, which I don't think there's that much in that. But you've got to also consider that it's not like Ravens have been making it crazy deep in tournaments, so you know, they're not playing the hardest competition here really, and we see for Felony and Clay it's the other way around. Now probably what's happening here mainly is that Fellow and Clay are playing much better on LAN, and therefore there are simply fewer kills to go around for Gwyn. I think that is part of it, but at the same time, if Gwyn was to win Rookie of the Year this year, maybe it would be a somewhat underwhelming appointment just because he, even by the eye test, just hasn't been quite as impactful on LAN. Not saying he's still not a good player, because I think he certainly is, but interesting to at least think about. The other 4, though, are separated between 2 teams, one of which is Miami, who have been really the biggest onliners this season up until this point, because they've, you know, I think when they had like 80, 90, 100 points, all of those were from their performances online because they'd got slammed out of every single LAN tournament, 0-12 map counts. That changed quite considerably, of course, when we went to Toronto, but yeah, these numbers are quite telling really. I mean, Vikul going from a 0.97 online to a 0.84 on LAN, 0.97 as well for MettalZ to a 0.86 on LAN. Not pretty really. There's lots of talk about sound EQ and all this, right? Because the players that tend to do well online and not LAN, people say, oh, you know, there must be sound cheesing or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not. There's been some debate on it. Vikul has, I think, even publicly denied using sound EQ, although I don't think that some pros necessarily believe that. So there is that whole thing going on. And then you've got the 2 other guys on the Subliners. Very interesting, it's got to be said. Certainly Kismet here, 1.0 online, a 0.86 on LAN. I think especially in Search and Destroy, I think Kismet's search has been significantly weaker. So just interesting to keep an eye on this really as to whether this continues for the rest of the season, because certainly some of the numbers here that maybe some of these teams want to be looking at, especially if Subliners are looking to potentially make a roster change come the off-season if they fail to deliver the results they're looking for from now to the end of the year. But have a look at this, guys. It's the founding Fathers LAN that was held at the 100 Thieves compound, and I thought there were some funny pictures coming up just because of how cool this was compared to many of the things the actual CDL does. So you got the OpTic guys on the left hand side here, the 100 Thieves guys kind of in the middle with like, okay, Nadeshot's here, Courage, Josh, and those boys. Octane couldn't make it, I believe, and then the FaZe boys on the right hand side. So it was just really cool to see it. Have a look at this as well. The founding Fathers LAN here at the top, like how they got the whole setup going, the couches, everything in the background, the stage setup, like all of this stuff they executed. This was Major 4 last year, and you know, this was the moment when Kenny was looking at the ground trying not to laugh. Octane was doing the same because Maven was doing this really hype intro, and it would be funny if we run it back this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we do, because Major 4 this year is also going to be in a similar type thing. It's not in Columbus at the Belong Gaming Arena, whatever it was they held it at last year. It's going to be in Burbank, California, but it's nonetheless not going to be great, is it? So hopefully they do something better than this. It was kind of fun, the fact that you had the players lined up like this so they could kind of stand up and talk trash to each other a little bit. Of course, Thieves ended up winning this tournament over OpTic in the finals, that team of, you know, Ghosty, Shotzzy, and Dashy, which is still kind of remarkable. But, you know, it was a bit of a different story, isn't it? And nowadays, this stage they've put together is pretty spectacular. We got some nice moments, you know, Scump and Nato on the couch, and there's a few funny clips I'll share for you guys in a second. It is funny to see, like, whenever Scump plays in these things, you can just tell that he has an absolute killer mentality. Like, it's the same if Crim gets involved in stuff like this as well. Like, he isn't just going to run around no-scoping. If Scump's playing, he's playing for the win. That's how it works. And therefore, there was some frustration from some of the FaZe fans and the FaZe team that, you know, Scump was doing a bit of hard scoping, right? But, look, it's part of the game. I don't think you can get so mad about, like, game mechanics. And it just is how it is. They're playing Modern Warfare 2, of course, classic MW2. And, yeah, Scump was doing his best to get all these frags, and fair play. I think there was some frustration just because some people were saying, oh no, it's like quickscopes only type thing, but I don't really know if that was like an official rule or anything like that. So, you know, Scump and Shotzzy, they were holding the left triggers and they were picking up all the kills, but man, what a game, right? These FaZe guys obviously have played this a lot. They went on to play some Black Ops 2 as well, and Scump's team, to be fair, Scump's team was pretty overpowered, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that they had Scump and Shotzzy on there immediately just meant that it was gonna be over, and they had Pamaj on there at times as well, who is going to be tough to beat in playing MW2 and stuff like that. So, like, very entertaining. Scump gets this 1 versus 2 situation right here. Josh goes down, although Josh did actually also 1 versus 2 nade and Scump, so fair play on that one. And there were plenty of good moments such as this, you know, K-Sun and Shotzzy trying to coach him a little bit, and he says, like, this guy got turned on after this, literally right afterwards. So then we got one of the more controversial parts of the tournament, was this Modern Warfare 2 headquarters game between the OpTic guys and 100 Thieves. And, you know, here's a name there's gonna blow up here from Chandler, which I thought was, yeah, pretty tough to watch. But this was the overall scoreboard of OpTic versus 100T. Now, this is headquarters, so it's not hardpoint. It's not they got 0 point clubbed in hardpoint. So headquarters is a different game mode, but effectively meant that they never even secured one of the points. And they were just getting slapped around here. So, yeah, the 100 Thieves boys, Enable went 8 in 29. Hitch, Pamaj, Scump, and Shotzzy was 39 in 13. Now, the drama here was that, well, okay, maybe they were hard scubbing a bit, but mainly on the steady aim pro side. So Shotzzy and Scump, I don't know if Shotzzy really knew that this was like meant to be, you know, good or bad or whatever, but as FaZe say, hashtag steadygate, because them using Steady Aim Pro on. Now, what was funny about this is there was lots of reaction to say, wow, FaZe a couple of weeks ago in that online tournament versus like when they were playing Nadeshot's team in the finals, it was K-Sun's team versus Nadeshot's team, and they did the replay cheese, and there was all the drama about it being rigged for FaZe and all this stuff. So now a couple of weeks later, after maybe Nadeshot's team got scammed out of that or whatever, now they're kind of getting scammed in the same way, but at FaZe's own tournament. And it was the same thing when the FaZe guys were coming on stream and saying, oh, you know, I can't believe they were hard scoping and all this, and it's like, you know, scammers got scammed type thing is how it was going, and obviously people roasting banks for all the crypto stuff, and like it was an entertaining moment in the community just because you had all the different fan bases and the different players and the different teams kind of just locking horns on the timeline, roasting each other for basically everything. But yeah, so during that game, now look, would it have mattered in this headquarters game had they actually not been using Steady Aim Pro? Probably not. I mean, you got to think they should have got one on the board at least for despite that fact. But no, Steady Aim Pro was on, of course, tightening up the hipfire spread, making it easier to snipe in general, and they were just getting slapped around. And yeah, Shotzzy was probably looking through the perks, having not played the game before. That's what I thought was impressive here, is that some of the FaZe guys, like the old school FaZe quickscopers, you know, this is basically all they've played, right? Like, is Modern Warfare 2. So it's not a surprise that they're really good at it, I wouldn't say. But Shotzzy hopping on and being, like, sensational. Maybe, look, he's a current pro player. Like, he obviously is going to be good. But I still thought it was pretty impressive. So, anyway, they had the Steady Aim Pro on it. That caused a bit of drama. We also had this ace from MettalZ to close out the tournament. I'll share a couple of minutes of clips if you guys as well, because there was always some entertaining stuff here happening. Okay, maybe the observers could have done a better job here, but it is what it is. But then we got that 1 versus 1 that was being billed before the tournament, Banks versus Nadeshot. This is pretty funny, I can't lie as well. The you know, the Tony Snell meme effectively here for Banks going into this 1 versus 1, and there was all sorts of trash talk going in, oh, you know, Nadeshot's gonna smoke him and all this stuff, but in the end that's not what occurred. And maybe this shouldn't be a massive surprise, just because Banks and those guys, like, that's basically all they've done is play the original Modern Warfare 2, and that's obviously not what Nadeshot's been up to, playing a load of extra finds in other games, but still, the result was not impressive for Nade.
Ben, over 100-point comeback. They were down 95 to 20. Now it's 100. Or they were.
Scump's holding corners in the scope.
I know.
Yeah, hey! Oh!
Nice.
I'm sorry.
I don't think he knows.
Yeah.
Whoa!
No,
The thing is,
Now they're feeling themselves.
as
you know how it goes, the momentum. Come on,
they're gonna get another match. Many can quick scope. You can see.
Okay.
No,
it's a problem.
What's
That's a
Defense
problem.
doing right now?
You come for the king. Best not miss! You come for the king! You best not miss!
If he was.
Bang! Okay, well, bomb.
Like that fly.
Zuma has had a quiet game so far, but you know he has the clutch gene. They've got a player pinned. Will they be able to find this and make it a 2 versus 2? Just 43 seconds left. Zuma gets cut down. Methods looking for the ace. It's all down to Adapt, the MVP so far of this game from FaZe. He's going to shoulder towards A. Connects with 1. Down goes Embos. It's now a 1 versus 2. But the clock is not on his side. He's got to get moving. He's got to plant this bomb, and he's taking the long route. There is just no way he has enough time to be doing this. There's no way. He's going to have to sprint across middle. 15 seconds left. He's got to get moving. I don't think he makes it to the bomb in time. He's been spotted by 1. Does get cut down.
Alex crushed it.
12 though is crazy.
Dabbed with.
When did I fucking get reps in? I'm PC.
You're playing against.
I'm fucking PC with the goddamn.
too.
You're out of your fucking mind. This place sucks. Fucking hate it here. I want to go back
I will go
to my
warm you
house
up.
where I don't talk to nobody, see nobody, only talk to people on
He doesn't
Discord.
want the warm up because then if he warms up and loses, it's.
I'll go warm up with you right now.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna give you a piece of advice though.
Oh.
He'll whoop your ass.
What are you gonna give me?
I might
advice?
not.
Anything in life. Maybe crypto.
anything.
I would take some.
Crypto. Whoa, man. Slow it down.
Yo, he's on
No.
edge, man.
Smoke a fucking cigarette or something, dude.
You might need a
No,
bow.
Jesus, man.
Fuck.
Seriously. Mean.
He's a cornball, bro.
You are cheating. You are cheating.
Shotzzy literally got off the plane after cooking Scrappy on main stage, shut out 4-0, and he came here to play like a recreational LAN with us.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You think Scrappy's at home stressing right now? Got all that neck with no toothbrush?
Nah, that's crazy. Guy won
What?
fucking MVP in Major 3 and is just about to play the guys.
Oh,
Played
man.
in years.
Scrappy, you should probably play some fucking Invasion Control, brother.
Oh, shit.
Go get your scrims in.
My bad,
Oh, for real,
Scrap.
Scrap.
Yeah,
I'm going to sit over here and
I'm
have
not
some
saying
fun.
My bad, Scrap.
So FaZe Banks takes the victory 20-5. Nadeshot got absolutely slammed here and, almost got no-scoped here for the game. But in the end, Banks just gets the final quick-scope onto Nadeshot, and that is going to be GG. So, lots of reaction to this, obviously, from the FaZe guys immediately afterwards. But this was the drama between Nadeshot and Scrappy. So, obviously, Nadeshot, before it happened, said 1v1 on MW2. The LAN is live now. And we have this picture of Banks on the left and then Nadeshot on the right. Nadeshot kind of looks like Nick Merckx here, does he not? Do you not see the resemblance? Maybe I'm just tripping or something. But anyway, Scrappy says, that's the pick you got, GG's. And then Nadeshot just comes out and clowns him. And obviously we saw the other clip in a second where he was roasting him on stream as well. Shouldn't you be scrimming? That boy Shotzzy on a world tour, giggling and playing in this recreational LAN after that shutout on the main stage. And obviously Scrappy comes back in the replies, trying to clown Nadeshot for working at McDonald's back in the day. But I think Nadeshot won this one for sure. So pretty funny, right? Because only a couple of weekends ago, let me just scroll up through the replies again, when they're playing on LAN, and obviously Toronto again got slammed in the grand finals. And this is the thing for me, is that Shotzzy could have been scrimming with OpTic, yesterday and today, playing with the boys, because they play this weekend. There's a brand new patch update that's just dropped. It probably helps to get some practice on that. But no, Hex was like, look, Shotzzy, you're coming with us, and you're going to play in this LAN out here in California with the Los Angeles Thieves boys and the 100 Thieves boys in general, and the FaZe guys, making the argument that OpTic are just feeling so confident in their play that, they can feel free to just take a couple of days off here, whereas, obviously, for Scrappy, they need to, lock in, because shouldn't you be scrimming, he says, don't watch the tournaments, get back to practice type thing, because you need to put in the effort, because right now Shotzzy's absolutely smoking you. So yeah, we'll see if that goes anyway going forwards. Of course, it would be even better if Nadeshot's COD team were actually good, you know what I mean? Like if Nadeshot had a COD team that was also competing for championships, it'd make all of this trash talk even more entertaining, but hopefully we'll get there over the next couple of years, and obviously Nadeshot weren't stopping there either. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Obviously OpTic technically go on to win the tournament, right? If you bring Scump along to a tournament, you're going to win it. It's just how it goes. So that's basically what happened. Undefeated, he says, on the day. But we've also got to talk about the matches for today, because there are some CDL games this evening. We have 3 of them. They're not the best. We added some reaction emojis to our site as well. And, well, there's some pretty funny stuff here. We get 04, we get the bowling meme and all this for Seattle Surge. And, Gorilla versus Old Man is what this is between Gorillas and Ravens. But these are the games on the weekends for the overall weekend, and I guess we'll just kind of dive into the games of the day. Not the best day, I'm not going to lie to you. Toronto versus Seattle Surge. This is going to be interesting because I think Surge Online are good, and we'll see if Toronto and Scrappy have actually been putting in the work. We also do have the interest of the new patch, which is arriving now, so they will be playing on the new 6-star and with the propane tanks apparently not exploding anymore and all these other things. Boston, Minnesota is a massively important game for probably both teams. This is the brand new Boston with Major Maniac on the roster. They should be better in Search and Destroy. The last time these two teams played, it was a Game 5 Minnesota win with 2 Search and Destroys. I'm not sure that's going to be the case for Boston. We've got this brand new hardpoint strategy coming out of Minnesota. So I think I would say that with a very high degree of likelihood, the loser of this series does not make it to the World Championship. Now, Boston probably outmake it anyway. They've got like a 1 in 200 chance. So if they lose, it's obviously chalked. And if they obviously don't meet Minnesota, then they play harder teams than that. So it's obviously chalked. But if Minnesota lose to Boston, then it's probably chalked for them because they've just proven they're not very good. Or Boston are now the truth. I don't know. Gorillas versus Ravens is a similar thing for Ravens, I think. Gorillas, I don't know if they're going to make it anyway. They have a chance, but their online record has just been so bad. Ravens need to win this series. Like, they cannot go 0-2 this week, Ravens, absolutely. A 2-0 would be fantastic, and they play Subliners on the Saturday. So, sure, not the most exciting games on paper, but some really important storylines that will emerge as a result. So, very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.